When my last relationship ended, I was still emotionally hooked. When I chased her, she felt this. However, the moment I detached from her, she came back into my life. Not because she missed me, but because I stopped giving her power. And this is what I want to discuss in today's video. Not many people talk about this, and this is something that you more than likely have been through, are going through, or might even go through in the future. So I want to help you not be in this position because it's personally happened to me. So let's get straight into it. And firstly, I want to discuss how your attachment feeds her ego and gives her complete power over you. Now understand, she feels your attachment through energy, okay? She knows you want her. She knows that you're still stuck in life. And you got to understand that emotional attachment is energetic, especially when it comes to a female. She knows when you want her. She knows that you're trying to get back with her. Even though you might not be saying those exact words, by you constantly thinking about her, checking her social media, you're energetically chasing her. And this shows up as needy, lingering energy, which she feels, especially if you've had a strong emotional bond before. So she feels this essentially in her nervous system, right? Psychologically. And on top of this, if you haven't moved on, if you're still stuck in the same position, she senses this. How does she sense this? She will be stalking your social media. She will check to see if you're single, and whether you're thriving in life or whether you've gone stagnant, whether you're still the same as before when she left you. If there's no glow up or internal changes, she knows that she's still in your head. Psychologically, women subconsciously test post-breakup power. She wants to know if she's still in control. Does she still have power over you? So this is what she's psychologically thinking in her mind. He still wants me. He's not over me. He's still single. He's still the same. He'll keep chasing me. You're essentially feeding her ego at this point. And this is exactly what happened to me. When my 7-year relationship ended just over 3 years ago, when she walked out of my life, I remember I was emotionally attached to her. She could sense this. I was consistently texting her. I was calling her. She would hardly message back. She wouldn't answer my calls. And if she did message back, she'd say, look, maybe we'll just start off as friends. I just need time to focus on me. And that just opened the door of hope in my mind. I thought that we could get back together, right? And this was the weak, vulnerable version of myself with low self-worth, low self-esteem. So at this point, she held full power over me, and she knew this. That's why she wasn't replying back to me. That's why she wasn't answering my calls. She knew I wasn't going to go anywhere because I was very much emotionally invested in her. And this went on for several months. It was like I had this hope, but then I wouldn't get the answers that I wanted. So part of me knew the reality that she wasn't going to come back, that this was all just a waste of time, that I need to move on. And then my weak, vulnerable self was holding on to that little bit of hope, thinking that, yeah, maybe we could start as friends. Maybe things might spark into how it used to be before. And I was just living delusionally at that point. Because deep down, I knew that it was over. Right? I knew it was completely broken. We weren't going to get back to how it used to be, especially in the earliest stages of that relationship. And she knew I was energetically chasing her, showing up as someone that was needy, someone that was desperate, someone that was making her the center of his world. Right? I didn't have purpose before getting myself in this relationship, so she became part of my identity. So when she left, a big part of me felt broken. A big part of me felt lost. I know a lot of guys go through this as well when they're getting themselves in relationships, especially long-term relationships. When you enter the relationship with no purpose, she becomes your purpose. She becomes your why. And when she walks out of your life, a part of you, or most of you, just feels empty. You feel lost, you feel broken, you don't know who you are anymore. And that's what I was going through personally. So I kept trying to chase her, trying to get back to what was familiar, what was comfortable, what I kind of only knew at the time. But this went on for a long time. And eventually, after many tears, after breaking down a lot of times, I focused on the power of detachment. And I want you to understand that true detachment is your real power. When you stop chasing, stop overthinking, and you focus on your goals, your purpose, and rebuilding your identity, rebuilding a man that you're proud of, building a man with a strong mindset, high self-worth, high self-esteem, a man that has high self-respect. He can set boundaries. He's willing to walk away if someone crosses those boundaries. When you're at this point of your character construction, you got to understand that she will feel the shift in energy. This is where you start to regain your power back. And I'm not talking about playing games or anything like that. I'm not meaning this in any spiteful way whatsoever. But when you detach and when you focus on you, and yes, it will require work, her ego takes a hit. Psychologically, what's going on in her mind at this point is, why has he stopped chasing me? Why has he stopped caring? How come he hasn't reached out? Is there someone else in the picture? And this is where you silently get your power back and you're able to now focus on what's important. Focus on the direction in life that you're heading. Attracting a woman who suits the new version of yourself, that new identity that you're rebuilding or that you've recreated. And you can see earlier how I was explaining to you, when I was attached to my ex-partner, that just fed her ego, gave her complete power over me. She knew I still wanted her. She knew I was still stuck in life, that I hadn't changed. But when I actually detached, when I started to focus on my goals, my purpose, rebuilding my identity, this is when she felt the shift in energy. And that's when I regained my power. That's when I stopped caring about her, stopped thinking about her. I was a new identity. I destroyed that old version of myself, that weak, vulnerable version that was emotionally attached to her. And she felt that energy being cut off immediately. Once I was at that point, she knew that I was no longer the man I used to be, the man that was energetically chasing her. She knew it came to an end. And when she reached out to me about a year later, she had told me that she had dated other guys, that no one else really compared to me. But mind you, at this point, I've moved on. I was open to speaking to her, even though I didn't care about her. I didn't have any anger, any resentment, any animosity towards her, because I used to feel this way. But this new identity that I created had completely let go. He had detached. She felt that. She asked about me, and I'd moved on because I'd focused on my goals, my purpose, the direction in life that I was heading. And in return, I had attracted a new partner who had entered my life. And I told her, look, I'm seeing someone else, I'm in a relationship, and that's when things went really sour. That's when she started to break down. That's when she started to bring up the past emotional pain from our relationship, because I want to admit that I made mistakes in that relationship, so did she. But she started to bring up my faults. Remember when I used to do this for you? Remember when I helped you during this situation? She tried to make me essentially feel bad. But at this point, it was her only ammunition left, because she felt that power struggle. She understood that I no longer was chasing her, that I had completely moved on. She felt that energy was no longer there. And this made her worry. This made her deeply concerned. And I knew deep down that she wasn't coming back because she missed me. She didn't come back because she loved me. She came back because I stopped giving her that power over me. I stopped making her the center of my world. I had created my own world. I'd started a new life with someone else. She would have stalked my social media. She would have seen that I was looking different, because I was. I was looking much more leaner, much more healthier. I had much more life experiences. And she would have seen me with my partner on my social media. And it is what it is, right? At the end of the day, I wasn't doing this to get back with her. I was doing this because I started to fall in love with a new identity and the direction in life that I was heading. But she, by chance, happened to stalk my social media and see that I was doing well without her. that I no longer needed her anymore. And I could imagine her ego took a massive hit. That's why she broke down. And she even said to me, you know, I'm willing to catch up over a coffee with you. And I said, look, I'm seeing someone else out of respect. It's not a nice thing to do. And what are you trying to achieve out of going for a coffee? And she said, look, I want to see if you might have feelings towards me and maybe just meet up with me. And if there's no feelings there, well, then we'll just end things and we'll just stop talking. And that's a very risky business, right? I wasn't going to cross the line like that. I'd worked on my self-worth, my self-esteem, my self-respect. I had boundaries in place. I'm not going to go back to old ways, right? The old version of me would have done that. The version that was emotionally attached to her would have met up with her in a heartbeat. And because I was this new identity, I didn't want to go back to old ways. I understood that that chapter had ended and a new one had just begun in my life. And I had to block her. It got to a point where she just kept bringing up the past. It seemed like all she had over me was just the things that she did for me during that relationship. And I appreciate all the things that she's done at the end of the day, but I wasn't going to fall for that, right? It didn't trigger me. It was just, to be honest, quite irritating. So I had to be done with it because she was spamming up my phone. She knew that she had lost complete control over me. And it is what it is, right? So I want you to understand that there is a silent power dynamic going on invisibly after your breakup. Even though she might have broken up with you, use my story as an example. At the start, it's going to be hard. You're going to be feeding her ego more than likely if she broke up with you and she left you and you feel broken and you're in a position where all you think about is her and you want to get back with her. She will know this. But the moment you start to move on, the moment you start to detach completely from her, and again, focus on your goals, your purpose, and rebuilding your identity, this is where she will feel that shift in energy. We don't want to be spiteful. We're not trying to play games here, but you get to take back your energy and utilize it in the right way. No longer give away your energy, right? We're all energy beings at the end of the day. If you're giving away your energy, she's just taking it and you're getting nothing back in return. So when you actually cut her out of your life, you get your energy back and you can use it to your advantage towards the direction in life that you're heading, towards your character, towards what you actually want in life. So understand, as much as this is going to hurt, that this relationship has come to an end. This chapter has closed. And if it was meant to be, she would see potential in the relationship and also with you. You'd be able to communicate your way through the tough times. But unfortunately, she's left. It is what it is. And now you must focus on rewriting that next chapter. So if this is something that you need help with, if you're going through this right now, the last thing I want for you is just to suffer in silence and waste time like I did. So if you want to heal from this breakup, focus on regaining your power back, focus on your purpose and rebuilding your masculine identity. I can help you get there. This is what I've done for myself. This is what I'm currently helping other men with at the moment. So I can help you do the same. So if you need that help, you can always click the link down below and I'll see if you're the right fit for my coaching program. But look, I'm going to end this video here. I just wanted to share my wisdom with you so you don't make the same mistakes that I did. You know, being in relationships for over 15 years, I've learned a lot of life lessons. I've made a lot of mistakes, and this is what I talk about on my channel. So if you like this video, give it a like. If you're new to my channel, hit the subscribe button. It really helps me keep making more valuable content to help those that need me. And if you want to share your comments down below, you can share your comments. But look, I'm going to end this video here. I hope you have a blessed and beautiful day. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.